Happy Wednesday. What's going on, guys? It's Ricky with Technical Solutions here with a super quick market update. So we did so well in today's LPP live trading session. We just wrapped it up. If you guys have never watched me trade live, it's the second link in the description down below whenever you're ready to tune on in. I'm kind of bummed that I took profits on MSTZ. The reason why, for those that do not know, it's an inverse ETF. I would not recommend it for a beginner, but it's a double leverage inverse ETF that does the opposite of whatever MSTR does. My big thing is that MSTR is still consolidating above a major support range. So I have to respect that. Again, I wish I could just take a position and then kind of like give it the time that it needs for it to fully sell off, but it's consolidating enough that for the past few days, I've given back some of my profits because I didn't take profits at the support and then it recovers and then I give it back and then it sells off and then it recovers. And then again, this time I took the chance. I took profits at support range. If it goes back up to retest, I'll reopen my pretty much short on MSTR by going long on MSTZ. So I walked away with 5,500 today. That's following my $5,000 day yesterday. And I've been enjoying it. So again, I do not, nor would I want you to copy what it is that I'm doing. Shorting and or going long on an inverse ETF, especially a double leverage ETF, comes at a greater form of risk. But like I talked about it yesterday, right? I like to share my ideas, not because I would need you to agree with me. That's not what I do it for, but because I want to see if they actually pan out, right? Overall, I can see that Bitcoin is consistently forming lower highs and lower lows. Direction to me looks bearish, but we have a stubborn support range right around 66 to 67,000. So as long as it holds there, again, it does give MicroStrategy, which is pretty much dependent on Bitcoin's movement, the ability to hold or sustain itself. If we do see a break of support and Bitcoin begins to retrace back to lows of 60,000, that's where I believe MicroStrategy can go back down to retest same previous lows of $100 to maybe $105 per share. So again, that's just my opinion. That's my perspective of where I see Bitcoin going. What's going on with the NASDAQ market? We've kind of recovered and began to consolidate here. It looks like it's going to go back down to retest the same support range. Just a little heads up. It looks like we're testing a slight little resistance right around 620 for QQQ, an overbought reversal, maybe with another leg down. And it makes sense because we have CPI report this Friday. So again, just another reason to drop a thumbs up if you want me to live stream it. But there was actually some good news. If you're asking the question, what caused the market to quickly skyrocket pre-market and then give it all back? We had this conversation today with our LPP team, and that's why I love our live trading sessions so much, right? So if you ever feel like you're doing this all on your own and you feel lost because there's so much going on, sometimes we're literally just having conversations with one another. And it's like open thoughts. So today, a series of reports were released during the pre-market session, and the non-farm payrolls was the big surprise. So this came in at 130,000 when the expectation was 66,000. This supports the idea that the labor market is not doing as bad as what was expected, as well as the unemployment rate. The unemployment rate was expected to be at 4.4%, which is no change from the prior, came in at 4.3%, supporting the case that it's a little bit lower than what was expected. The conversation that we were having in today's live trading session, and again, you guys let me know what you think. A strong labor market does not support a rate cut. The market wants a rate cut. So to me, I was surprised that the market responded in a positive way. Don't get me wrong. A strong labor market is good news. But the market wants more rate cuts, and the market will only get more rate cuts if the labor market continues to show signs of weakness. But it didn't. It showed signs of strength. So to me, it didn't make sense because that's kind of where the analogy comes in of, bad news is good news and good news is bad news. But the way that the market reacted in the pre-market session was that good news was good news. So again, it kind of contradicted itself. And then shortly after, right, all you have to do is give the market a little bit more time to kind of identify its direction for the day. And that's why I enjoy these live sessions so much, because it allows us to have these open conversations. Once that reversal began to form, that's when not only NASDAQ, but also MSTR began to quickly give it all back. And we made some money going long on MSTZ, right? And that's the beautiful thing is we like to put our money where our mouths are, and we don't just like to talk about ideas. But if it meets our criteria, the risk to reward ratios and price action is in our favor, then we choose to take action, and then obviously take profits when it makes sense. And that was one of the conversations we had today where, I feel like in a lot of different spaces in either the stock market or different markets, they're always like, you have to hold, you have to hold. They never want you to sell their Bitcoin, even though it's your Bitcoin, right? They never want you to sell a stock that's pumping up because you have to hold it for the movement. We're all here for the same reason. It's to make money, right? I would never apologize for being selfish in this market. Your goal should be to look out for yourself. Get in, get out, make your money, and bounce. If you overcomplicate it beyond that and you're doing it for the movement, I'd love to see any movement that's going to pay for your bills. As simple as that, right? Anyone that tells you that no, you should be holding it for some other reason, to me, that's a huge red flag. You should be doing it because it makes sense to you. And as soon as it doesn't, right? If ratios no longer make sense, if there's lack of progress, if your criteria no longer is being met, get out. When in doubt, cash out. And again, you shouldn't need to apologize or ask for permission to take profits with your money. It's that simple, right? So again, a pretty exciting week ahead of us. Although tomorrow we don't have much going on. We do have initial claims and continuing claims report. On Friday, we have the CPI report. That's going to be the inflation report that should give us a better understanding if markets will either begin to actually recover and surpass that moving average and work our way back up to 640 for QQQ, or if we get rejected and go back down to retest the lows of 590. So again, if direction is unclear, either stay cash or stay light with your position. So if direction does turn against you, you don't end up regretting it. So I wish you guys nothing but the best. Stay patient, stay calculated, be intentional. And again, if you ever want to tune on into our live trading sessions, like I said, it's designed for complete beginners. It's a one-time payment for lifetime access. We have members that signed up back in 2018 that still watch me trade live today. It's the second link in the description down below, and we have a nice discount in there for you. Appreciate your time. Like always, let's make sure that we end the year on a green note. Take care, team.